So 12 months ago, there wasn't any public company on my radar that had more than $1 million or $2 million worth of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Right now, there are billions and billions of dollars of Bitcoin on balance sheets of publicly traded companies. And so the fundamental trend is clear. The fluctuation week by week, sometimes hard to time.
An avalanche is coming for Bitcoin. With Bitcoin on the cusp of breaking $50,000, Michael Saylor explained why an avalanche of institutional capital is coming. Michael Saylor founded the Bitcoin Mining Council, which aims to educate and progress Bitcoin mining to becoming fully via sustainable energy sources. In this video, he explains why he founded the council, and secondly, why when institutions see that Bitcoin is now over 50% environmentally friendly, it becomes a much more attractive investment. Also, only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed. If you enjoy finance content, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind.
I think that Bitcoin is digital property, and I view it as being as important as electricity or steel. We take crypto steel. Bitcoin is crypto steel. There's a point at which everybody realized that steel was going to change civil engineering and the civilization. Without steel, there would be no New York City. There would be no building more than a few stories tall. So it's an elemental material that fundamentally changes the civilization. Now, I don't know how long it took to introduce the concept of steel or electricity to the society, but presumably it took about 30 or 40 years before most people understood it. If you went to a politician in the year 1900 and you said, "We invented electricity, we think it's going to be a benefit to your city," would they have welcomed that, or would they have been worried it was going to burn the city down? And if you went to a bakery or a restaurant or a shipbuilder or any business person, or you went to a minister and you said, "I have this electricity thing," what would they think? If you went to a journalist, what would they think? It takes 1,000 hours to really understand this well. It takes 100 hours to understand it not well. And in 10 hours, you get confused a little bit. Mm-hmm. And after 10,000 hours, maybe you master it. So, if you think about Bitcoin like that, digital property, crypto steel to build this 21st century cyber economy, okay, that kind of blows people's minds. Now, we're living in year 2 of institutional adoption of Bitcoin. As I was saying, a year ago, you couldn't find a single public company with $1 million or $2 million of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So in the past 12 months, CFOs and CEOs and journalists and politicians and senators and mayors and governors and presidents are all being asked to have an opinion on Bitcoin. And it's like showing up a year after inventing steel and saying, "I have this new thing. But by the way, steel ships are so much better than every other ship. They obsolesced all other ships. And steel buildings are so much better. They obsolesced everything we knew about architecture for 1,000 years. They had to throw it all away. It was literally a paradigm shift. So if I invent crypto steel, and it's going to be a paradigm shift in the way that you construct banks in cyberspace. In fact, it becomes a paradigm shift in the way 100 million businesses create everything. 8 billion people are going to deal with each other billions of times an hour through 100 million businesses differently. How many people understand? And the answer is 99% of the politicians and the media and businesses and institutional investors, they don't understand. It's new to them. So we created the Bitcoin Mining Council in order to educate and advocate. When people say, what is this thing? Why do you use energy to create it? What are the consequences of it? Why do you need to do it that way?
So there's Michael Saylor on why he formed the Mining Council. Now here he explains the importance of the council moving forwards.
Need to have some kind of organization or someone that can speak for Bitcoin that can say, it is a good idea, it is good for the environment, and it is the best way to do it. And if we didn't have the Bitcoin Mining Council to speak for Bitcoin miners, then there'd be the question of which of the 1,000 Bitcoin miners would go speak. And if you had the one that went to speak, then the person in the Senate would say, well, that's very well. You said you were very articulate, but do you speak for all the other Bitcoin miners? And there's 999 others. So I guess I'm going to have to wait until I hear from all of them before I believe what you just said. And of course, on the other side, you would have someone that disagrees with Bitcoin, that views Bitcoin as being a threat, a competitor to Bitcoin. They would show up very organized and say, well, we're speaking for all of the banks in the world. We think Bitcoin is unnecessary. Or we're speaking for this altcoin. We think that Bitcoin is unnecessary. They're organized and they would advocate their interest. So I think that it's very important that you educate and advocate your interest, especially when you're in a novel new technology that you have invented. And that's what Bitcoin is. It's crypto steel for the 21st century. And 99% of the people are going to say, what is crypto steel? Why do I need crypto steel? And why are you using energy to create crypto steel? I heard from someone that manufactures normal steel that you're unnecessary and they want all your money. Who should I believe? One last point I make, which is a funny point. You know, there's a World Gold Council. There's a Silver Council. There's a Platinum Council. There's a Diamond Council. There's a Copper Council. There's pretty much a council for everything that people could put their money in other than Bitcoin. It's pretty amazing. So we just need to explain to people why it's probably a better idea to put your money into Bitcoin than gold, and why Bitcoin is a technology like electricity and steel that makes the world a better place.